Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, today we will discuss about the test classes.
ఇంకా ఏమేం టాపిక్స్ ఉన్నాయి దీంట్లో? అజాక్స్ ఫంక్షన్స్ అన్నది చెప్పలేదు. పేజినేషన్.
Yeah, we have Ajax functions, one program, and pagination of program. Okay, these two are from the pages section, Ajax functions, and in the batch we have that I will tell right now. I just forgot to tell you. The database dot stateful. How to implement this database dot stateful and what is the use of this one? I will tell you that wrong. And it's triple concept. These two are in batch, these two are in batch, and these two are in page.
Okay.
I'll tell this in the last exact functions in page.
Okay.
I'll tell this right now. Database dot stateful I will tell, and after this I will start the test classes. Once you finish the test class, then we'll go to triggers. Last concept.
Okay.
Then at last we will see Ajax functions, pagination, wrapper class. That are like kind of advanced programs. We'll see those 3 or 4 programs will be there. We'll see them, how to use that. Then after that, maybe you can start your interview preparation. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Let me finish the database dot stateful. Why we will use the database dot stateful? Okay, let me explain you why we will use database dot stateful. Suppose in your batch Apex, our execute method will call based on the number of records in the start method. Suppose in start method you have 300 records. Okay, 300 records, and you given a batch size as 10. Okay, now how many batches it will run? 30 batches it will run. Execute method. Start method will run once and execute method will execute at 30 times because I given a batch size as 10. Okay, but in program we don't know how many records we have in the start method, right? But in case if you don't know, how many records are there, means how many records processed. You want to count how many records processed in a batch. In case if you want to count how many records processed in a batch. Now what will happen in execute? First batch will run batch 1, like suppose like 10 records it's executed. Once it come to the again next batch, I mean second batch, it will start from again 1. It will start again from 1. So 1 to 10 records. Again next batch 1 to 10. So in these cases, if you don't invoke the database as stateful, you won't able to count the number of records processed. Database as stateful is used to maintain a state from one batch to another batch. Now what if I use database stateful? What will happen here? 300 records are there. Suppose I declared a variable called count. For this one, what will happen? First batch, the count will increase to till 10. In the second batch, it will start from 11, not from the 0. But if I don't give database.stateful, it will begin from again 0, and the maximum value will go to 10. But if I give database.stateful, it will begin from 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, then 31 to 40. So this is how it will happen. Means you are maintaining a state from one batch to another batch. Got the point? Why we use database as stateful? In these cases, if you want the total number of records processed, then we will go for database as stateful. If you want to do something based on that number of records, that size, then we will use this database as stateful. Clear the point?
Yes.
Let me show you an example for this database of stateful. I have wrote. See, I have wrote a simple batch of. See, this is normal batch of syntax. Data implements database at batch block S of it. If you want to maintain state, then you have to give database.stateful, comma database.stateful. I have declared the integer called count. Yeah, tell me.
ఇంతకు ముందు బ్యాచబుల్ అని ఇచ్చాం కదా, బ్యాచబుల్,
Yes, batch will be
షెడ్యూలబుల్,
yes, batch will
queuable,
be
like దాని బదులు ఇది డేటాబేస్ డాట్ స్టేట్.
no. In addition to that, you will give database.stateful.
ఓకే.
If you want to maintain the state, then in addition to the existing database.batchable, you will give the database.stateful. Both will be.
ఓకే, ఇన్ అడిషన్.
Okay, now I have declared a integer called count where I need to calculate the number of records processed. If you put this query in your query editor, how many records we have there, it will come to know. See, 68 records I am having. 68. So now let's see what I am doing here. In the execute method, all this query will come here, this scope will come here. So for this scope, I am just doing some operation level equal to my secondary. Meanwhile, I am doing count plus plus. Means I am increasing my count. I have declared a count as 0 here. Once it will come here, from the 0, it will increase 1 by 1. Got the point?
Yes.
Can you see here in this example, in the pane, if you don't give database.stateful, now what will happen here? If I give batch size as 10, it will start from 0 and maximum value it will go to 10. And once you call the second time again batch, means batch 2. Once it calls batch 2, it will start again from 0 and that value will be 10. So maximum count will be 10 only. It won't increase more than that because we are not giving the database.stateful. So we are just incrementing the counter. So whatever be the batch size you have given, that will be the maximum size for that count here. Whereas if you give the database.stateful, it will maintain the state. It will first batch it will come 0 to 10 and second batch it will start from 11, not from 0. It will increment like 11, 20, then 21 to 30. This is how I am incrementing the counter here. Now how many times the execute will call, that times the counter will increment. In the finish method, I am just debugging it.
7.
I am just seeing like how many records is processed. Now in this query I am having 68 records, then my count should be 68. My count should be 68. Let's execute this one, batch contact. See, I am giving my batch size as 10. When I execute it, my debug statement should be like 68. Can you see here 68?
Yes.
See 68. So it's maintained a state from one execute batch to another execute batch. So the count given as 68. So this is the usage of database.stateful to maintain a state from one execute batch to another execute batch. Very simple. For that you have to implement database.stateful. If you implement that database.stateful, you can maintain the state. And if you want to update this to a particular field or something, you can write the update operation here after this. Clear? So this is why we will use database.stateful. Any doubts in this one? Now with this concept, we completed the batch job and schedule job, except the iterator concept. Except using the iterator, we completed the batch and we completed the scenarios event, calling batch from VFH and invoking the batch and calling the batch from another batch. Okay, we have wrote the different scenarios also in the batch. You should be very well known about the batch right now. And schedule. Yeah.
In this program, we did not specify any count.
Specify any count means?
How much? How did it? If 300 records means I should say per batch 10.
Batch size?
Yeah, batch size, but we did not specify anything here.
We didn't specify here. While executing only, you will specify, right? Here you are specifying, right?
We got.
The contact only 68.
Yes. How 60?
I didn't get it.
The contact query is there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this query.
That
The full count at the last, not the every count.
I didn't get exactly, man. What is that, Shanky?
No, it will, whatever the last count, it will give that count. He's telling like, I think the one you told, right, 0 to 10, 11 to 20 like that.
Yeah.
It won't give like that. It will give the final result.
Yeah. I mean, here it's executing 7 batches. 7 batches means I have given a batches as 10. I have given a batch as 10. Means then I am having 68 records. How many batches it will run now?
7.
7 batches it will run. 7 batches when you are, yeah, 7 it will run. So here the count, I mean first batch when it calls execute method, the count will be like 10 maximum value. It will start from 0
11 to 20.
and then when I execute method calls for second time, then it will start from 11 to 20. The count will increment for each and every record. You are processing 10 records in execute method. So when 10 records are executing, count will increment for 10. Similarly, for third batch it's called, it will begin from 21 to and it will increment till 30.
But while executing, we'll get the total number of records.
Yes. Once we
How many
operate,
records it has run.
how many records is processed?
Yeah, that was my doubt.
Yes. Once it's processed, it will give the total number of records processed. Whereas if you don't use this one, if you don't use database.stateful, it won't give you the 68. It will give you the last batch size count.
yeah, it's 8.
Yes, 8 it will give. Last batch size count it will give. Okay?
Okay, sure. Yeah, got it.
Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, database.stateful is done. Now come for the test classes. What is test class? First, test class is nothing but in Salesforce we have a concept called test class, whereas shit, this test class concept is like to check the business, check business functionality, whether our logic is working fine or not. This is called test class. We are just checking with, we are just testing our functionality is working fine or not. That's what the test class will come here. And for this test class, it will show you, uh, the number of lines covered under this test class. Means how many lines are covered under your business logic and which are not covered. It will give you. Okay. And third point, if you want move your code to production, coverage should be 75%. Then only you can move your code to the coverage. I will show you an example, then you will understand all these points. If you want to move your code to production, the coverage should be 75%. Where we will write our code, everything here in sandbox. Sandbox instance we will write. Once your logic is tested perfectly and if it is working fine, very well, then you will move your code to the production, where is the real-time data will be there. It will run without any errors. Okay. Now, how many ways we need to test? How many ways we need to test our business logic? How many ways we need to test our business logic? First thing, you should test the positive behavior of your code. Positive behavior of your code and negative behavior of your code. Third one, unit testing, means giving some records and testing. And third one, bulk testing. These are the 4 steps you have to check based on your logic. You have to check the positive behavior whether it's working fine. You have to check the negative behavior too. Unit testing means you're just giving one record and testing it. And the bulk testing, you have to give like 100 to 200 records and test it whether it's working fine or not, if you don't have the coverage. Okay, this is the basic.
What do you mean by negative behavior?
What is?
Negative behavior.
Negative behavior is nothing but, suppose if you have if condition, else condition. You have if condition, else condition, right? If condition is positive behavior, else condition is negative behavior. You have to test both.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Now come to the class. I'll just tell you a simple example. Apex class. Guys, you're following me, right? I'm just writing a class like public void display. Here I'm taking like integer A, integer B, okay, integer C. Okay, these are three variables are declared, and I given as A equals to 10, B equals to 20, C equals to A plus B. C equals to A plus B. So this is my simple addition program. This is my simple addition program where I am adding the values. Okay, system dot debug result is
Plus
C. Right? This is very simple program like doing my addition operation. Try to run this. Display. See, I am giving 30 value. So my program is working fine. My program is working fine. Now, how to write a test class for this one? New text class test example. Test addition example. So whenever if you are writing a test class, then you should implement this annotation called is test. You should implement this annotation called is test above the class. So fourth point will be should give an annotation at the rate of is test, at the rate of is test for the class. Got it? If we give at the rate of is test, it means it is a test class. Okay? In the test class, it won't take any records from our real data. Means you are already having lot of account data, or I mean we have lot of objects and we are having lot of data for all the objects. It won't consider any data from our existing data. You have to create the dummy records in the class and pass it to the test class if you want to give, but it won't save the data into our database, or it won't take the data from our database. If you write the test class. Clear, guys? Is it clear till now?
Yes.
So it won't take the data from your database and it won't save the data also to your database. Okay, now let's see what is the operation I am doing over here. What is the operation I am doing over here? I have declared a method, three variables a comma b comma c, and in a method I am doing some operation. In a method I am doing some operation. Okay, now how to write the test class for this one? Generally once you call a method itself, based on the scenarios, once you call the method, you will get the some coverage. Let's see, for this class I am creating an instance. Now I am just calling this method. Means how you will call? Display. Save it. Method must define a body. Okay. Just till now it's clear what I told you about the test class. Is it clear, right? About the data. Anu?
Yes, sir.
For everybody it's clear, right? Test class means we are just checking our functionality. We are not bothering about the operation, what it might be the logic. If you want to execute this addition operation, you need A, B. So we will just pass those two values. That's it. We will just pass those two values. We are not bothering about the remaining functionality. If you want to execute this C equal to A plus B, this is my ultimate functionality here. Addition operation C equal to A plus B is my functionality here. If I want to execute C equal to A plus B, I need two values. That is A comma B. So you have to check. You have to give A comma B, and you have to see whether this addition operation is happening or not. Whether this addition operation is happening or not. That's what my requirement. So you don't need to do the functionality again. I mean, you don't need to write again C equal to A plus B. For executing C equal to A plus B, you need AB. Means you will just pass AB in your test class. And you will see whether this is working fine or not. Okay. Now in my case here, before I calling this method, I need A value, B value. Then only the C will execute. So I'm just passing that A comma B value from the class. Just take it like instance. Take it as an instance variable. Now I'm giving instance. Now I'm accessing the A variable in this class. How to access these variables from the class? Class name dot, I mean this instance dot A equals to, I'm giving some value like 40. Similarly, instance dot B equals to, I'm giving value like 50. That's it. I'm just passing these two values. Unexpected token instance dot A equals to 40. 1 minute guys, this is publication. Okay? Save it. What is this? Unexpected token equals to start A equals to public integer, it is a B, it is a C. Addition example. What is this? Example, okay, this under C equals to 40, this under just hold on guys. 1 minute guys. Oh, it's giving error. Comment this, save it, start the display. Method must define here body. Make this done again. Why it's giving this error? Hold on guys. Oh shit man. Guys, in a test class we should write a test method. Sorry. Public static test method void some name, means addition check. In any test class you should write your logic in a method that is called test method. This will be the syntax for test method. It will be static and that will be null, and I'm giving some name. So you just write your business logic over here inside the method. That's what it was giving error. Now you just pass these variables. Is that fine? Now you want to execute this. I mean, you want to run this test class. You need to check whether the function is running or not. So we can run the test class two ways. Can you see here? This is run test. This is the one way we can run the test class, and another one is here, test, Apex test execution. This is another way we can run the test class. Two ways you can run the test class. Okay, now I'm running the test class here. Run it. Success. Okay, you can see here under test. See here, it's run successfully. Test. Now come to this class. Just go to the drop down. Just go to the drop down. Can you see here coverage? This is called code coverage. This is called code coverage. It will give you the lines it's covered, and if any line didn't cover, it will give you in red mark. I mean, particular line didn't cover. This coverage should be 75% for us if I want to move the code from sandbox to the production. Clear?
Sandbox and
Yeah, that is our Salesforce instance. We'll be having sandbox is nothing but it's a another Salesforce instance. It's a another Salesforce. It's nothing but it's a, again one more Salesforce login. Generally, we will be having, we won't touch, I mean, we won't do the development in real-time data. This is also one sandbox. One Salesforce instance is called a sandbox, whereas there will be 2 to 3 sandboxes, and one will be the production, means live, and remaining 2 where you will do the development and testing, and you will check the functionalities whether it's working fine or not, and if it is working fine, then you will move this code to your actual production. Production means where the real data will exist. Sandbox is nothing but a Salesforce instance, Salesforce login instance. Clear, or can I tell another example? Hello?
clear.
Clear? This is one more Salesforce instance.
Clear.
But here you will write the all testing. I mean, you will write the code and you will test the functionality. When it is working very fine, then you will just move that to your production. Means the where the real data will exist. Customer's data will there. If it is working fine in the sandbox, then it should work. It should work in production too. If you face any issues in production, that is called bug. Whereas you didn't notice that in your sandbox. Clear?
Okay.
So this is called test coverage here. It should be 75 if you want your code from sandbox to the production. And also you can see here the test class is running successfully and total is 1 and failures are 0. Okay, and this is very simple program. Here always in the test class, we will try to satisfy the conditions. We are not bothering about the logics. I mean, if there is any if condition, there should be a record which satisfies that in if condition. Then only the code inside the if condition will cover. But we are not writing any active. Now here my functionality is addition operation, C equal to A plus B. This is my functionality here. But what I am doing here, I am just passing A, B. If I need to perform the addition operation C equal to A plus B means there should be values A, B. So I am just giving the A, B values here. Then it will check whether C is getting value or not. That's what this is. Clear, guys? Any doubt in this one?
No.
So these one simple program for addition operation. Now I will just take one more step up for F update. Means we will doing the DML operations like insert or update or delete. For those cases, how to cover the code coverage. Okay. Now come to a DML operation. See guys, this is my simple class where I am inserting the records. This is the method. Inside that method, I am declaring account A1 equal to new account and account A1, A2, A3, A4, and I am adding to the list and I am inserting the list. Okay. Now I need to write a test class for this DML operation. Do I am using any queries over here?
No.
I'm using any queries over here? In this program, do I am using any queries?
No.
No. So I'm not using any queries. And do I am passing any parameters to this method to execute here?
No.
I'm not passing any parameters. So I have declared a class and I have declared a method. In that method again I'm declaring the account to insert and I'm simply doing the insert operation.
Adding.
I'm simply doing the insert operation. Whereas I'm not using any queries, I'm not passing any parameters over here. So in that case, you just have to create an instance, call this method. That's it. I mean, there is nothing dependency to execute this method. Whereas in my previous program, if I want to execute C, there should be A comma B, then only my C will execute. But in this case, you don't have any dependencies over here. I'm not using any queries to run this, and I'm not passing any arguments too. I have declared a new account here and I'm just inserting them. That's it. There is no dependency for this if I want to execute insert. He's declaring here. Once you call this method, it will check whether this new account is there and it will try to insert. That's it. So to write a test class for this one, file, new, Apex class, Apex. This test, write a method, public, static, test method, void, give some dimension. Operation check. Okay, this is my method, and in this method I'm just creating an instance for this DML class, open class. Now a dot insertion method, just call this, save it. Another. So I don't have any errors. Save it. Come to here. Select your test. Test DML open class. Test DML. Start. Test that is success. See the code coverage here. Come to the controller. Is it covered? Everything? Did you understand why I didn't pass any parameters for this? Because I didn't create anything. I just created an instance for this, and I just call this method. Because there are no any dependencies to execute this method. In case if I am passing some parameters here, then you have to create those parameters and call this method. Then it will run. But we don't have any dependencies here, and I'm not using any queries too. Clear?
ఇక్కడ అకౌంట్ ఏ హియర్ డిఎంఎల్ ఆపరేషన్ క్లాస్ లో అకౌంట్ ఏ ఈక్వల్స్ టు న్యూ అకౌంట్ అని ఒకటి క్రియేట్ చేశాను కదా.
Yeah.
నేమ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ హాట్ కోడ్ చేశాను కదా.
Yeah.
అక్కడ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ లో కూడా మీరు ఏ ఈక్వల్స్ టు న్యూ డిఎంఎల్ ఆపరేషన్స్ అని తీసుకున్నారు కదా. ఇది ఓవర్ రైట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ కేస్.
No, that's what I'm telling. See, generally in the test classes, whatever data you called, or now I'm calling this method here, right? Now I'm just calling this method.
Yes, yes.
I'm just calling this method here, which means it won't insert the data, but it will check the possibility to insert the data.
Okay.
It won't insert the data, but it will check the possibility is there or not to insert this. Because I'm declaring here the new account, A1, A2, A3, A4, and it will check, we have all the values here, and it will check whether we can insert or not. If the possibility is there, then it will cover the coverage. If the possibility is not there, then it will give you a red mark, means this is not possible. If something is missing, it won't touch our existing database test classes. Whatever the data you are passing here, and here too in the addition example, whatever the test class we have wrote for that, test addition example, I'm giving here like 40, 50. It won't save in my database. It will just pass this 40, 50, and it will see the possibilities to get the result.
Okay.
If there is a possibility, then fine. It will cover. It will give the coverage. If you don't have the possibility, then it will give you an error. Point is clear?
Yes.
Clear for everybody? Any doubts in this one?
No.
Okay, fine. So you just do one thing. Try to create. First start from this one, basic, what I did here, and for this simple primitive data types, you just try to write some this one test classes, and for the DML, for insert you can do, and if you are using any queries, you can do like this. I will tell you if you are using the queries how to write. But as of now, you just understand what is test class and how to write that, and what is the test method, what I wrote here. We should write this test method, and inside that method you will write the logic, and you just try to understand it. That's it. Write some test classes for primitive data types like this. Try to write this, kind of like write some string variables and write test classes for that. You already brought some programs right initially while I taught you the methods and basic concepts. For all those classes, try to write the test classes initially, what I wrote.
Okay.
Insert operations, string operations we did, right? So for all those, try to write test classes. Okay, once you are having brief idea about these test classes, then we'll go for this DML operations next, and we'll see the types of methods available in the test classes and how to use them. Got it?
Okay.
Because you should be very careful about these test classes, because you don't have this in your material too. If you didn't note down this clearly, then again you will face the problem. You don't have about this brief description in your material also, which I shared with you. Okay, you don't have that description over there, so you have to note it down, each and every small step, how to write the test classes. It's very important, because writing the logic is very easy. Writing the test class, where you will start. You have to give the proper parameters to satisfy the conditions, and you need to make it execute. Okay, be careful guys while rewriting the test classes. Note down all the points very clear. I will share you guys this simple test class and the database.stateful program, and just go through it and try to understand the test classes, the basic concept of what I told you. Okay. Clear, guys?